Hi everybody, Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 4 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here today to talk a little bit more about how we make decisions and specifically the energies that we trust to guide those decisions. The quote that I'm sending out says, "Many people will cling to the certainty of their worries and fears versus trusting the uncertainty of hope and optimism." I think that's important to recognize because when we think about our worries and fears, we almost always think they're right and they're certain. And when we think about hope and we think about optimism, sometimes we're worried that, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. And I think if we begin to look back on some of the things we were worried about or afraid might happen, many of them didn't. There's a tombstone that I have as a slide in some of my presentations. It says, 90% of what killed me never happened. So I'm thinking this whole idea of seeing our worries and fears as certain and seeing hope and optimism as risky and uncertain isn't accurate and isn't serving us. It isn't serving us because, as you know, it engages that lower 20% of the brain. Great in a fight or flight situation, not so great in life in general. What we want to do is engage that forward-thinking part of the brain, that upper 80%. And that's where hope and optimism and clarity and confidence and creativity reside. So I'm thinking when we're looking at what do we trust, do we really want to hold on to the belief that all of our worries and fears are going to come true? Or are we willing to risk the uncertainty of hope and optimism? See, one of the things I love about the concept of hope and optimism is if we want something to happen and work toward it happening, and it doesn't quite happen the way we want it to, we still have hope and optimism about the future. We can still look at, okay, good information, what do I want to add to that? What do I want to do differently? How do I want to make this happen? And we're moving forward based on what we want, based on trying to say, versus trying to stay safe based on what we're afraid of. So I'm going to encourage you next time you look at this concept of what do I trust? Am I really thinking that somehow my worries and fears are certain while my hope and optimism is uncertain? When the truth is there is uncertainty in all of it. So if there's uncertainty in all of it, why not trust the energy we would recommend to someone we love? Why not trust the energy that engages that upper 80% of the brain? Begin to see the future in an optimistic way. This goes with another quote that I sent out not too long ago. It says, "The road to success is not paved with stones of avoidance." In order to optimize our potential, we have to be willing to see the world optimistically. So here is to that image of what we want for those we love, how we see their future and what we want for them. Applying that to us, trusting the energy, even the uncertainty to some degree of hope and optimism over what we maybe have seen in the past as a certainty of worry and fear. I hope you find these videos valuable. I'm having a wonderful time bringing them to you. If you do find them valuable, please hit the like button. Google and YouTube really pay a lot of attention to that. If you have a question or a comment, please leave that below. I try to read all of them, and I will respond to as many as I can. If you want to learn more about this whole concept of how the brain works, you can go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com, or just Google Bill Crawford, and I'll show up on the first page. And there on that first page, you can put your email address and your first name, and I will send you 4 free videos that explain this philosophy that I call life from the top of the mind, that shows us how to access our best by accessing a very specific part of the brain, and how to avoid the stress and worry and frustration and anxiety that cripples so many of us by actually avoiding a very specific part of the brain. I think you'll find it fascinating. If you want me to come and create a presentation for your organization using these concepts, so it's not just stress management like you've heard it from everybody else, or even dealing with difficult people like most people would teach it. I bring in this aspect of how the brain processes information and helps you and your organization become much more powerful in these areas. So if you would like a presentation on that, go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com, hit the contact button and let me know. Also, if you would like to work with me as a psychologist, executive coach, life coach, you can go to the same website, hit the contact button, and talk to me about that. I work with people all over the world now with Skype, so the barriers of borders are no longer a problem. Again, I hope you find this valuable. Here is to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.